Well, a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to day two of the Terra Nova International three-day event. Day one of dressage complete. Day two is about to get underway. First horse down the centre line at 9 o'clock in just over 2.5 minutes' time. Well, this wonderful equestrian centre is Florida's premier equestrian destination, tucked into the picturesque countryside of Mayaca City in Manatee County. Terra Nova, a welcoming setting for all levels of equestrian competition. The team here at Terra Nova have built a family-friendly facility designed to deliver an unparalleled experience for competitors and horses alike while keeping safety a priority. No detail overlooked, with 6 state-of-the-art arenas and a sprawling cross-country course designed by Olympic gold medalist Captain Mark Phillips and built by master craftsman Eric Bull. Their equestrian centre and estate properties are a short drive from Sarasota's world-famous beaches, exciting downtown area, shopping, the Sarasota International Airport, and many diverse cultural events and venues. After day one of dressage, we go to that leaderboard and have a quick read of the leaderboard. And it is out in front, Will Coleman and Diabolo on 34.0. Second for Canada, Jessica Phoenix, the first of 3 rides in the 4-star, with Freedom GS on 35.8. And in third, Sarah Kozemplik, Rock Phantom on 36.9. Jess Phoenix also 2 in the top 4, with Watson GS on 36.9. And she has a third ride here this morning. We only have 2 sessions of dressage. Buck Davidson first down the centre line with Errol Goby this morning. And then it will be Jess with Fluorescent Adolescent, the last of her 3 rides to come at about 20 to 11. We hope that you're sitting comfortably and are going to enjoy the next hour and nearly 3/4 of dressage. Here, a quick rundown of our ground jury. The president of the ground jury, Bobby Stevenson from the USA, Sandy Phillips from Great Britain at E, and Gretchen Butz from the United States at M. 3 judges, 3 different opinions and views of the arena. That's why we'll see a slight difference in the scores. But Buck Davidson is warming himself up around the arena. There he goes, right to left of screen, with Errol Goby, a horse that he rode at Chattahoochee Hills just a few weeks ago, and had a quick chat to Buck outside, and he was very much in the thought process of this horse. Some horses want to win, some horses try, and he said this is a trier. He just hasn't quite got to the bottom of him yet. And although he had the problem at Chat Hills, he said it's one of those things. He said, I just don't know where I am with him. And it is a relationship. We talked to Sarah Kozemplik yesterday. It is a relationship that these riders build and form with these horses. And Buck just doesn't feel that he's quite got there. But Errol Goby, coming down the centre line, a horse that was started off by British international rider J.P. Sheffield many, many years ago. So coming down the centre line. So into the shoulder in, straight away from the shoulder in into the medium trot. Very good balance across the short diagonal. These movements come up very quickly in the 4-star test as well. And then repeat on the other rein. Really good 3-track shoulder in. Just a little bit fussy in the contact. And then into the second of the medium trots. And then already we see this horse getting into his groove, getting into his rhythm. Again, having spoken to Buck this morning, he said he's covered in hives, has been bitten all through the night, and feels really sensitive and really itchy. So quite difficult to ride a horse that's feeling like that underneath you. the extended trot, it is MXK. We've seen very few go from marker to marker, and if you're wanting to pick up those bigger marks, that's exactly what you have to do. The half pass to the centre line and half pass back. So we go to X and then reverse. And a little bit of a blip in the middle. So loss of balance in the middle of his half pass. You can see top left, the target to beat is 34.0. That of Will Coleman and Diabolo. Owned by Natalie Sandler and Cassie Segal, Lisa Darden. 13 years old, this Holsteiner now. Had a fall, as Buck was telling me earlier, in his first advanced, and he just never has quite felt the same with him. That relationship that they build it's a lifetime one, and a very sensitive horse. He said he's very spooky as well. He's got a lovely walk, very good pirouettes, both to the left and to the right, making sure all the time that you keep that inside leg working. That activates the inside hind leg. That you keep stepping around on the circle. And now into the extended walk, really showing the horse's gears within the gears. Those that don't understand dressage, it's like changing gear in a manual car and then putting your foot on the brake. And there you can just see the tension coming from the walk. And Buck, it's damage limitation at its best. Into the canter work, that'll be a relief. And straight away into the medium canter. And really showing off the horse down the long side. It's a very, very good, I think, pace for Buck to go in. You know, he doesn't want, he needs to show a little bit of that exuberance in the horse. It's the half pass to the centre line, half circle, then it is a short diagonal with a flying change on the short diagonal on the centre line. So really trying to count his way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and change. And it was a good change actually, and the horse allowed him to ride the change. And then repeat. So he'll half pass in the other direction to the centre line. A little bit straight to start with. Errol Goby not quite letting Buck in the whole way. But he has settled, which is good. As we come round on this half circle back to the flying change on the centre line. Watching the horse's hind leg, new inside hind leg, and a very good hind leg and a very good change again. So two very good changes. I think Buck will be very pleased to get this test under his belt. Coming down to that final halt centre line and saluting our three judges. So our first to go, Buck Davison with Errol Goby, the 13-year-olds. They've had some good runs recently, but the one problem he had, and I again spoke to him about his issue at Chat Hills just a few weeks ago. It was a spook on the main stage there and just landed and kind of came to a halt before the corner. And he said he just is a spooky character and has never quite got to the bottom. He said it makes me feel a little bit silly and a bit of a useless trainer, but it's a horse that takes and has taken a very long time. But he'll get there. He'll get there. So Buck Davison leaving the arena. That score to beat still of yesterday's Will Coleman and Diabolo, 34.0, with Jess Phoenix and her first ride, Freedom GS, 35.8 in second. Well, a lady that's on amazing form is next to go. She won the individual gold and the team silver from the Pan Am Games in Chile just a few weeks ago. It is Caroline Pamuchku with HSH Vamonos. And Caroline has been absolutely flying. She won the 3-star at Maryland, and I was watching this horse in the arena familiarization on Wednesday afternoon, and she has a lot of help on the flats, on the floor, from Eric de Vander, and it was transition after transition after transition, and he's a lovely horse, a horse that she thinks a lot of. Well, she thinks a lot of all of her horses. She's got a lot of horses that she's riding, but he's a super type, and he's only 8, 16-3 warm blood, owned by mother Cherie Martin and RAH Resources LLC, and comes here off the back of, again, some very, very good runs. Caroline Martin, former Caroline Martin as she was, coming down this centre line. Beautiful big white face on this horse. As I said, individual gold medalist with HSH Blake from the Pan Am Games. It was a very, very uncharacteristic time for the Americans in the show jumping. They had an unassailing lead going into the show jumping, and then the girls, for whatever reason, it just didn't go their way and dropped down into the silver. Brazil the bronze. A lovely horse, a lovely type in the arena. Vamonos, 5th in his last run. Hardly been out of the top 10 in all of his internationals. This will be his first 4-star long, though. And as an 8-year-old, it's quite a young age, but a good age to be at the 4-star level. He's a very impressive horse in the arena. He really fills the eye. Caroline is super at riding those movements, and she one of those that has gone from M through to K, showing the transition up, into, down and out of the extended trot. Lovely position in the half pass. And then forward and change of direction, change of bend, curling around the new inside leg, the right leg. And sometimes we watch tests and we think they look a little bit fragile, and he doesn't look fragile. He looks very rideable, and you have to have that. It's a little bit like you and I when we're having a telephone conversation. If we start losing signal, then we start losing interest, and it's up to us as the person on top to keep that conversation interesting, to make sure they stay online, that we don't lose that chat, and if it does start getting a little bit boring, we make it more interesting. And he's getting a bit tense here in the pirouettes. You could see in the first pirouette to the left he had outside flexion, and then he jogged across on the short side to the other pirouette, and then again had outside flexion. It wouldn't be his strong point, but look, he's 8 years old. He's going to have some weaknesses in his abilities, and he'll get stronger. Watching for this over track in the extended walk, and he's got good over track in the extended walk, but then again, as she picks the rein up, he gets tense. He starts jogging again. And that's something that she'll have to learn to deal with, however she wants to pick up the rein, whether she decides that actually it's better to leave the rein out there, get into the canter, and then pick up the rein. It's all about experimenting and finding out which trick works with which horse. Lovely in the extended canter, and then sit, collect, and the transition. And then as she moves around into the first of the half passes, again looking for that ground cover, the uniformity in the bend, making sure that he is parallel, that he does stay true to the line that she's riding. And then the first of the flying changes, watching the left hind leg, and it was just one stride late behind. So that'll be a 6, 5.5. for the flying change. He's got a super frame, and whence he is a little bit more established, a little bit more confidence in his own ability, then I think we'll see a totally different horse. So a winter of schooling, a winter of dressage. Back for the second of the flying changes, watching the right hind leg again, and again one stride late behind. So that was a shame, both of those flying changes were late. And this final centre line and halts, and almost perfectly square halts, and just squares himself up. Has a little look around. So Caroline Pamuchku with her mother, Sherry Martin, and RAH Resources HSH Vermonos. A horse that started off his career with Emily King in the UK. And this was by Andiamo von Het Kabelhof Z. Quasimodo was the dam sire. And as Caroline leaves the arena, that's our second to go this morning here at the Terra Nova International, the November fall event. And next to go will be Mia Braundell. Mia with Kashmir. It'll be an interesting test to see this. I've watched him a couple of times in the warm-ups, and they have competed at the 4-star long level, but yet to complete a 4-star long. 4-star short, they've got one under their belt, two under their belt in fact, but the 4-star long still evades their list of achievements. And here we have them. Kashmir, 16 years old, Dutch warm bloods, owned by Mia herself from North Carolina. Dutch warm blood in breeding. And by Special D, the dam sire Ed King Hill. So Kashmir just warming themselves up. Just see if we've got a score in for Buck Davis, and we do. 34.9 goes into second place, 66.67, 66.88, 61.88, and that goes into second place, 34.9. Will Coleman still leads, Diabolo on 34. And Mia Braundell next to go with Kashmir. The sun is slowly poking its head through the clouds. Very foggy morning this morning. Very misty start, but the sun is burning its way through the clouds, and we're hoping that we're going to have sky blue skies here today and some perfect weather conditions over the weekend. Do stay with us as well. You can watch on the live stream either from Terra Nova Equestrian centre.com/live stream or on the H&C Plus website, Horse and Country TV, and you can watch the cross country and any of the dressage that you've missed for that matter at your leisure whenever you are comfortable and have a bit of spare time. So Kashmir. From the first shoulder in to the medium. And then repeat. Good angle, this camera, for the shoulder in to the left. And you can see just how quickly that movement comes up. making sure that the hocks are right under them, that they're using them as the pistons that they're designed to be, that the push comes from there and not the pull from the front leg. "16 years old, he looks fabulous in the sunshine, Florida sunshine. Could have just taken a little bit more weight behind in the extended trot. And then into the half pass. So it's half pass left, X, change of bend, change of direction, half pass right. Could possibly have done with a little bit more uniformity, a little bit more parallel line in the half pass. As she went into the second of the half passes, she just lost a little bit of the bend through the body, and he went a bit straight. And now into the pirouettes, first to the left. So remembering always to think about collecting the walk, and if you can leave it a little bit later, it's between the marker and the marker, leave it a little bit later, you give yourself much more time, but keep the inside hind leg working. That was more of a turn than it was a pirouette. And you're ideally 6 to 8 steps of walk on that pirouette circle, half pirouette circle. And when you come into the pirouette, it's about riding the collected walk and then the shortening of the step, but not closing the walk down completely before you ask the horses to pirouette round on that. I always think of Ross and Chandler on the stairs in Friends and pivot with the sofa, but always thinking that the horse has to pivot round the inside hind leg. But also, if you close the walk down, then they don't pick the hind leg up. It's a hard one to do, it's a hard one to train, but by training and working with them, you can ride a perfectly good pirouette. Nicely into the extended canter, sit and collect. More needs to be shown in the downward transition. Good travel in the half pass, but just looking a little bit downhill towards the end. So she's got a work cut out on the half circle to make sure that he still is coming up through the shoulder. There, she's done a big adjustment, watching the hind leg. And it was just half a stride late, the flying change. And that was all to do with the way that he travelled in the half pass and what she had to do in the half circle. You can see he's gone a little bit fragile in the contact. She's got a lot of work to do, but always in the canter, wanting them to travel from the hind leg up into out through the shoulder, that the front end is light, that there's lightness of the forehand. And here, gone a little bit loaded again, set it up, it's gone tight, and then jump behind. And that's all because of the tightness that was created on the half circle, which is a real shame because it was a very good start to it, but he's just got a little bit tight and tense, and you can see that with the way that he's opening and closing his mouth as well. It's a real pity. Well, Mia just completing her test with Kashmir, and we've got a score in, do we? Yes, we do. For the last to go, which was Caroline Pamuchku and HSH Vamonos, 36.7. And now Melissa Budam with Obi Dancer GS. Melissa for Canada. Another beautifully marked horse. And watching this horse at the first horse inspection, you may remember, he's got 3 white legs and 1 that is unmarked completely. And it made him at the trot up, and you can see here, if you concentrate too much on that 1 unmarked leg, it makes him look a little bit unlevel. He's not. It is just a very, very clever trick of the imagination. But he's very level, but in the shoulder in, this way won't look as good as the other way because the inside foreleg is the one that's the leading leg and doesn't look quite as prominent. But what a beautiful moving horse. Very good balance. And Melissa is showing exactly what we should be looking for, exactly what the judges are looking for there. Again, bang, bullet out of a gun, up into the transition, good length of frame, good length of step, transition back, and this will be giving her some very good high-scoring marks. Into the half pass. A little bit straight. Could have done with a little bit more bend through the head and neck, although we don't want to see masses of bend. This way slightly better. Good. He looks super, doesn't he? And then coming round to the pirouettes. Very important that you don't override them, that they should just happen. You close the walk, shorten the walk here between the marker. Keep the inside leg working, activating that inside hind leg, and then forward. Again, that was very nice. Slightly overreacted to her, and then he didn't step with the hind leg. He got stuck in his hind leg, so that will lose him a mark or 2. And then hopefully in this extended walk on the half circle, you just see the frame. And then we're wanting the frame as well as the step to extend, the frame extend as well. And working the paces within the paces, changing up and down through the gears. So Obi Dancer GS missed that flying change, unfortunately, so will not comment into the second of the half passes. He's got 3 beautiful paces, very uphill in his way of going. Let's concentrate on this one now, having sadly missed the first one, and then he was late behind. 1 stride late behind in the flying change, unfortunately. He's a super horse. He's a lovely horse, isn't he? Obi Dancer. Melissa ridden this horse all through his career by Humble GS. Bundenbrock is the dam sire. and they will leave the arena. Do we have a score for Mia Brundell? Mia. And the answer is yes, we do. 37.6 for Mia, and she goes into 9th place. 2 left to go before the break. First of the breaks here in the 4-star on the second day of dressage at the Terra Nova International. And Erin Strada is next to start. Erin will be riding Live and Learn. I think something that's been said to us 1 or 2 times in our lives. Pretty much a one-horse rider. She has had a couple of horses internationally, and this is their first attempt at the 4-star long level. They've done 2 4-star shorts, in fact 4 of them. Completed 2, withdrawn. They withdrew at the Florida Horse Park in Ocala, and then also sadly didn't complete their last run just a few weeks ago. So on to Terra Nova, moving on and forwards. Live and Learn, a 12-year-old chestnut mare. Owned by Erin herself. 16-2 Irish sport horse. Bred by Sharon Holmes in Ireland. I think the bell has gone, just waiting for her to come down that centre line now. Our 3 judges, again, reminder of those: the president of the ground jury, Bobby Stevenson from the USA, Sandy Phillips from Great Britain at E, and Gretchen Butz at M. 3 judges, 3 different angles, 3 different views, 3 different opinions, and 3 different ideas of just exactly what they are looking for. That's why we will see a discrepancy. I mean, your idea of good might not necessarily be my idea of good, and that's why we see the difference of opinion. So Live and Learn. She's not a very big mare, this chestnut. 12 years old. But Erin, quite a tall girl. She's had some very good runs with this mare, and rode her at the 4-star, has ridden her at the 4-star short level, yet to ride and complete a 4-star long. Riding in a double bridle, one of the first that we've seen. She was a team silver medalist from the junior championships, young rider championships, with a horse called Radio Flyer all those years ago. And this is a horse that I've seen this little mare a couple of times, and she is a feisty little number. And we're on 4 tracks for the shoulder in, back onto 3 now. And whether or not that's what Erin asked for, or whether that's just what the mare threw at her, one will never know. I mean, it's very easy to pass judgment sitting in the comfort of a chair and sitting here. But when you're not in the tack, you don't know exactly what's going on underneath you. But she just threw that shoulder in completely at her. And then Erin had to close the door and just say, well, actually, no, not all of that. I don't need all of that shoulder in. And you can see in the half pass, she's a buzzy little number underneath her. And Erin sitting fairly tentatively, fairly quietly in the saddle. I expect that's what we'll see now in the walk. You have horses that are thinkers and overthinkers. It's like personalities of you and I. Some react so differently to circumstances and to aids and commands that we give to them. Some we have to be very clear, some don't need much at all. And it's about the relationship that you build and how much you can ask. I always say there's a fine line between the expression and the explosion, and only a few letters that change in between. And if you push for those bigger marks, you then run the risk of exploding, but you want the expressive steps. And sometimes you don't get that at home. You have to wait until you get to a competition before you can find out just how much and how far you can really push them. A little bit of a discrepancy coming back from the extended walk into the collected walk before we pick up the canter. Again, that's something she could work on at home with how much she just draws back in the rein. Do I leave the rein out there for a little bit longer and then pick the rein up in the canter work? Being an avid ear watcher and watching her ears, and she is staying fairly relaxed. She's got fairly floppy ears, suggesting that she's listening. And when you've got one ear forward, one ear back, they are definitely with you. But again, when you're riding these horses, it's not just about singing from the same hymn page, it's about singing from the same hymn sheet, hymn line, in the same chord, in the same language, and then working with that harmony. So there's so many things that you can start working on to get them better and better. So she was good in the flying change, but she was a little bit tight behind. There was a bit of swing in there as well. So although good, she will be penalised slightly for the twist and the turn and the tightness. It's one of those things when you're riding a flying change, you think it, and ideally train them from your seat bone. And I was saying yesterday, I was riding a horse at home and went to do a flying change, and he literally said, "Why are you doing all of that work? What are you doing?" And I suddenly thought, "Oh yes, it's you," and then quietened everything down. Second flying change was really super, but she's just getting a little bit tense towards the end and relying on the double bridle. But very good job. You can see even there, the mare, these horses are fit, raring to go cross country. And then to come and dance in the white boards of the dressage with a fit horse is no easy task. So very well done to her, Erin Strada, and live and learn. I expect that's been a saying that stayed with them for a good few years, because she's not an easy mare, but Erin rode her very sensibly, very calmly, and got the best out of her on the day. And that's all you can ask for. So very good job. Going back to Melissa Boutin, scoring for her 37.4, goes into equal 8th place with Jenny Carras and Summersby. Combination that went yesterday in the 4-star dressage. And we have one left to go in the 4-star here this morning in this group. And then we have a break of about 18-20 minutes. And then we move on to the last 7 riders as Erin Strada leaves the arena. The sun is coming out. I can see the eagles flying. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's the day we've been waiting for ever since we arrived. It's been pretty damp and dismal ever since we got here. But it's been a long-awaited time, the sun. So it is Lucienne Bellissimo next to go, last to go before the break. Lucienne for Great Britain. And she rides the Horse Scout LLC's Tremanton. Lucienne, of course, been based over in the States for a number of years. And she married Mark Bellissimo a good few years ago and built up the Horse Scouts Eventing LLC team and buys and sells a lot of very good horses. Tremanton, 11 years old, thoroughbred Trakehner mare. So Lucien, last to go before the break for our three judges. Tremanton is a horse that was started off, a horse that I know quite well actually. I rode this mare a few times over in the UK, having trained Paul Sims and Hannah Bates, and I trained Hannah when she rode this mare, Tremanton, and then Lucien purchased her back in probably 2020, 1920. And she's a super mare. She was never the easiest in the beginning, in her very early days, but has really settled to the task. A very, very nice moving horse. Very nice active trot that we see straight away. And that's going to grab the judge's eye, make them sit up. You know, when they're judging and they're watching test after test after test, you want something to come down the centre line, somebody, a horse, and say, okay, look at me. And it was interesting, wasn't it? We were talking yesterday with Sarah Kozenplik and also at Maryland with Sinead Maynard. And one thing that Bettina Hoy has always said, what do you think about when you go down the centre line? And she said, well, just do I look pretty? Which we all thought was fairly comical, but actually, you know, that's all you really need to do is not overthink the straightness. Don't overthink riding a straight line, because once you overthink riding a straight line, then you get the wobble in, and then you overcompensate and you go from one direction to the other. Just think about riding at the judge. Don't think about the straightness. Straightness is one of the hardest things that we ever teach and train horses. The straightness is so key, so paramount. Lucien, a super rider in the dressage. And this mare's let her in. You can see the rideability in the mare already, and the way that she's looking very relaxed in the arena. We come into this pirouette, first of those, watching the inside leg, keep working the inside leg, inside hind leg keeps working. It was a little bit big if you're being ultra critical at the 4-star level. It was a tiny bit large, but it's a good shape. That was again too big. But then you run the risk, if you go too small, of then the pirouette being tight and losing the quality of the pirouette step. So that was probably a little bit sensible and very safe in what she did. So Lucien Bellissimo into the extended walk. The frame could be a little bit longer, a little bit more out in front of her, concentrating on the regularity of the steps in the extended walk. And acceptance of the bridle. You know, we want the horses to walk into the bridle, not drop the bridle and just walk faster. It's about extending the walk step, extending the frame. Nicely into the canter. Lovely expression then into the long side in that extended canter. The ability to sit, collect, and show the transition. Coming into the half pass. Nice angle. Don't lose the quarters on the centre line before then the half circle. And they must go straight from X to I. And then from I, it is the half circle back, and then the short diagonal flying change, watching the hind leg. And although it was good, it was straight, it was a little bit short behind, but true. And then the second of the half passes, sitting up, allowing the travel underneath you, so you don't want to feel that you're blocking the canter in any way. Half circle, sit up, use the left shoulder just to get the horses off of that left shoulder, and flying change. And that was late behind, one stride late behind. And that is going to put her down to a 6, a 5.5 for the late change behind. And this final halt, straight, and then just moved off in that last stride, but a very, very good test. What a lovely mare. And I know she's a lovely mare, having ridden her myself, but I know in the early days she was pretty tricky. But she looked very settled in there and very, very confident and comfortable, which is what you want. Some horses, you go down the centre line and they think, I've got you, and they don't allow you to ride them, whereas she looked very, very happy for Lucienne to ride her. So good test there from Lucienne Bellissimo for Great Britain. Last to go before the break. Reminder, we're back at 2 minutes past 10, and then we have Heather Gillette, Lissa Wallace, Tick Maynard, Mary Bess Davis, Lisa Marie Ferguson, Jessie Phoenix with her third and final ride, and also Jenny Carras with Trendy Fernhill. They will be our last to go. Well, don't forget, you can visit the paddock beside Tiny Town this weekend for mini horsemanship camp. Sign your child up for hands-on fun with their mini herd. Activities include leading a miniature horse through the obstacle course, grooming and mane braiding, and horse-themed crafts. There are 3 one-hour sessions each day this weekend, beginning at 9, 10:30 and 1, and open to children ages 5 to 12. I think that's a bit mean. I think they should open it up to all ages. I'd be up there. Children must have a parent or guardian present at sign in and sign out, and wear closed-toed shoes. I think that's all for health and safety around the ponies. VIP experience, you can join us in the VIP pavilion and inside 2 satellite VIP lounges on the cross-country course tomorrow for the cross-country. That's Saturday. Exciting cross-country phase of the Gennady Yacht Sales CCI 4-star presented by Insurance Office of America. Enjoy a catered lunch, non-alcoholic beverages, and an exclusive VIP shuttle provided by Leopold Irrigation. They've provided all the irrigation around the cross-country course and also the new golf course, which is opening as well. Empty Bowls, join us on Sunday for a special Empty Bowls event, symbolising the importance of coming together to fill the bowls of our friends and neighbours in need. And this community event benefits the Food Bank of Manatee County, a PLUS programme of Meals on Wheels, PLUS of Manatee. Guests will enjoy a delicious lunch of soup, salad and bread, and a dessert provided by fan favourite local restaurants, and will take home a keepsake ceramic bowl. Tickets can be found at www.mealsonwheelsplus.com. All the details also on our website, so do go and have a look at that. That will be on terranovaequestrian.com, and also all the live streaming details are on there as well. Well, Lucienne Bellissimo completes our dressage for this morning. Erin Strada, her score is in. And Erin with Kashmir, just having a look down that leaderboard where they have gone. Erin Strada, 42.8. Live and Learn, rather, the little chestnut, goes into 14th place. We'll bring you the score back of Lucienne Bellissimo after the break. You just had a quick glimpse then of the horses on the fountain, Terra and Nova. The horses on the big fountain on the entrance to the park here, and Terra Nova meaning in Latin. Those horses I've seen so much, and it's interesting listening yesterday to Sarah Kozenplik about those horses that used to be ridden by Hannah and Zach. They were a little bit thin apparently, and they had to be bulked up because they didn't want to have skinny horses on the entrance. But those horses, Terra and Nova, meaning new land in Latin, so very fitting to have those horses on the fountain on the way in. We're back at 2:10 then for the final concluding part of the CCI 4-star. Make sure you join us then here at Terra Nova.
You know, we live in a world that is pretty much a commodity world. Most insurance brokers can bring you a good piece of paper with good terms and conditions. What value do you bring over and above that? You know, we talk about being interdependent on each other. You know, we're a very independent company, but being interdependent doesn't mean you lose your independence. It just means you're better together. But what makes us wonderful, what makes us so special are our people. You know, I don't care what organization you're a part of. You're only as good as your people. And I will absolutely put our folks line by line up against anyone in our industry because they care, because they're advocates, because they really, really value what our clients value. And they're proud to be a part of a company like IOA because everybody here actually own a piece of IOA. They're here for the long haul, they care, and they know we value them. You know, a lot of things that we do in our business are transactional, of course, like any business. But we want our clients, we strive for our clients to have a transformational experience in the middle of their transactions. You know, what gets me up every day? It's about building something. It's about being different. You know, we're not like everyone else in our industry. We live in an industry in a world of sameness. And our goal, and what gets me fired up every morning, is to wake up and build something that looks nothing like our entire industry.
I know it's all you've got to just be strong. And it's a fight just to keep it together, together. I know you think that you are too far gone.
And I'd look at the bills and I'd say, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
But hope is never lost. Hope is never lost. Hold on, don't let go. Hey, hold on, don't let go.
She's changed my life completely.
Just stay one step closer, put one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. You're gonna be okay.
new lease on life. New lease on life.
I know your heart is heavy from those nights.
The need is real.
It's just remember that you are a fighter, a fighter.
And this program is needed.
You never know just what tomorrow holds.
Said if it wasn't for y'all, I don't know what they'd do for Christmas dinner.
And you're stronger than you know. You're stronger than you know.
Can't thank you enough.
Hold on, don't let go. Hey, hold on, don't let go. Just take one step closer, put one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. One step closer, put one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. You're gonna be okay.
I have 3 granddaughters that I raised. If y'all weren't here, I don't know what we'd do.
And when the night is closing, don't give up and don't give in. This won't last, it's not the end, it's not the end. You're gonna be okay. When the night is closing in, don't give up and don't give in. This won't last, it's not the end, it's not the end. You're gonna be okay.
Thank you very much.
For nearly 120 years, One More Child has provided Christ-centered services to vulnerable children and struggling families worldwide. The need is greater than ever. Compelled each and every day to reach one more, we are grateful for generous partners and supporters who come alongside us to ensure One more hungry child has been fed. One more foster child has found a loving Christian forever home. One more trafficking survivor has found refuge and healing. One more single mom has found community and strength. One more struggling family has found relief and stability. One more heart has found the love of Jesus. All of this was possible because people just like you said yes. Yes to mission trips. Yes to volunteering. Yes to giving. Yes to child sponsorship. Yes to one more. In a broken world, one more child is rebuilding lives. One child and one family at a time. And your support is the driving force behind this vital work. Together, we can make an eternal impact. Together, we can reach one more.
At Practical Horsemen on Demand, you can take lessons with the top hunter, jumper, and eventing trainers in the world, anytime, anywhere. Stream from your computer, phone, tablet, or TV to learn from experts. Our extensive video library covers a variety of topics, from flat work to jumping and cross-country. Members get insider access to private lessons and clinics, step-by-step tutorials, and more. Sign up for your free trial today.
Terra Nova is a very boutique horse show. It's a different horse show experience. It's quiet. We have paddocks.
In the 4-star long, that is the class division that we are concentrating on here this afternoon. This beautiful venue that we are so lucky to be part of, and it is and has hosted the 3-star already. We've seen the 3-star, and we concentrate on the remainder of the 4-star here this afternoon. Well, we know that the overnight leader was Will Coleman. Will, with the fabulous Diabolo on 34.0. Well, this is Heather Gillette and Vincent Chase, the grey. Vincent Chase, the horse that William Fox-Pitt rode at Bruce's Field in the big showcase there. And Heather in the 4-star. Vincent Chase, 11 years old, this grey gelding. Dressage finds a little bit tricky, a little bit difficult. A little bit of a stumble in the extended trot by Value Plus, exclusive quality, the Dam Sire. Would trend around the low to mid 40s in the dressage. A little bit tight, a little bit tense in the neck, in the half pass to the left. And the steps a little bit tight as well in the half pass to the right. Needs more travel. You can see Heather being fairly tentative with her rein contact. And as she comes back into the walk, Vincent Chase steps up into this quite tight collected walk. She's going to have her work cut out again here in the pirouette, just making sure. We should keep an eye on that inside hind leg. And it did get stuck. Didn't really move round. Tight steps in the walk, creating that little jog. And then he did step more with the hind leg in that pirouette to the right. And this will feel like a very, very long, extended walk as she goes on the half circle. So wanting Vincent Chase to take the bridle forward, try and ease him into the contact. Keep thinking about the step. Keep thinking about the way that this horse moves forward to the bridle without taking advantage of the situation. As we come now to... She's been very clever there not to pick the rein up too quickly. She'll pick the rein up now. There she does, into the canter. That was just a bit of damage limitation so as not to shorten the rein, shorten the neck. So the half pass to the centre line and then ride one marker straight, and you're not going to get away with any crookedness on the centre line whilst our judges are there. Bobby Stevenson has that bird's eye view to the flying change, and it was just tense and tight. Quite difficult to see the hind leg, but it was more of a jump behind. You can see here in the half pass that he's tight behind the saddle, creating that tension, and the flying change came very early, though it was a fairly good and clean one. So Heather Gillette just completing with Vincent Chase. And we move on. The next combination will be Alyssa Wallace and Renkum Corsair. Well, the leader in the 4-star is all change. It is now Lucien Bellissimo. Good test from Tremanton. Goes into the lead on 31.5. Second now Will Coleman and Diabolo on 34.0. And Buck Davidson third with Errol Goby on 34.9. Well, they're the top three. We go now to Alyssa Wallace. Alyssa with Renkum Corsair. Renkum Corsair, a horse that was started off by Claire Nielsen Hansen in Great Britain, and then on to Saffron Creswell Safi, who rode this horse up to the 3-star long level. Alyssa had the horse now for the best part of a couple of seasons. A lovely horse that was produced by Safi up to the 3-star, as I said, by Renkum Chapeau, the Dam Sire Renkum Valentino. Renkum Corsair, 13-year-old Holsteiner Anglo-Arab in his breeding, owned by the Corsair Syndicates from Reddick, Florida. He's a lovely moving horse, this, and actually was always pretty good at his dressage. And certainly at the 3-star level, solidified himself in that at that level. But moving up now, this will be their first 4-star long. So that score to beat, target to beat, up in your top left-hand corner of your screen is not correct. It's not 34, it's 31.5. So that is the score from Lucien Bellissimo Tremanton. As I said just a few moments ago, she is our leading score for Great Britain. 31.5. But this is a horse that could threaten that lead. Lovely big ears on this lovely 13-year-old. Staying very relaxed. Good walk. And now to shorten. There. Keep moving. Keep moving. Little bit wide on the second half of the pirouette. And needs to then show the difference from the pirouette walk to the collected walk in between. It's not just a spin round. It's not just a walk around in the park. It's a definite pirouette movement. So shortening the walk, showing the transition, pirouette, and then walking out. Very good overtrack in the extended walk. Extended the frame. Looks relaxed. Good. That was nice. And then into the canter. So picking up the walk now into the collected canter, you want to, collected walk. You want to see a big difference from the extended to the collected before this transition. And all of those things, wanting to see at this level, at the 4-star long level, we're going up towards the dizzy heights of 5-star. So really important now that we see that work and training has all paid off. There's no room for the sloppy work that we used to accept. Now is the time that we really concentrate on and only accept the good and the best. Sitting up. 2. So the horse was just a little bit ahead of her in the flying change. Went to go 1 stride early and was not quite on the aid. There's a very, very fine line in the arena as well. Some horses want their hand held all the time. Then you get your big, brave boys, geldings that say, you can't hold my hand in public, but then I do want my hand. No, do it when no one's looking. It's a really, really fascinating time in the arena when some horses really do need your help, and then other times don't. And it's a little bit like if you're ever stood in a queue and you're watching a parent try to hold a child's hand, and they're trying to snatch it away from you, and that's what the horses can feel like as well. And then suddenly they say, okay, well, you can hold it, but I'm holding your hand by force, not by willingness, and then working away with that and trying to get the happy medium. It's a funny old game, this. Horses are very intricate. We think we're bad enough, but actually horses, they can be just as complex as we are. But a good test there from Alyssa and Renkum Corsair. I should think we'll see that go up amongst the top 6. It'll be a mid-30s, low 30s, I would expect. And the score in for Vincent Chase and Heather Gillette, 50.2. And our next to go for Canada is Tick Maynard. Tick with SKM Lux Sonata. There he goes for Canada. Tick's wife, Sinead, is also riding here. She'll be joining us in the commentary over the next couple of days. Was a very popular commentator at Maryland just recently. She was fabulous as well too was Lynn Szymanski. She'll be in joining us. Sarah Kozenplik will also be here. Tick now down this centre line, writing his second book. And if you haven't bought his first book, then do go and buy that. It's a great insight into the training behind the scenes of the young horses, and his second book following on from that. And he's been all around the world getting advice and tips and training advice from some incredible people, including barrel racers and reiners, and it's a really interesting read. So if you haven't bought his book, then do go and seek that out on Amazon. So SKM Lux Sonata is a 11-year-old gelding owned by the Ace Syndicate. Lux Sonata, 11th at their last outing. That was at Chat Hills in Atlanta, Georgia, just a few weeks ago. A horse started off in the Emerald Isle in Ireland by Patrick Byrne. Then Manon Davidson brought this horse over back in 2019, over from Ireland to the States, and then Tick has been in the tack since the early part of 2021. Lux Sonata, a horse that is on his day. He's pretty good in the dressage. Tick hugely experienced. Got a very good feel, a very good brain for the dressage. And the horse there just stepped out, just kept stepping wide rather than stepping underneath to make that pirouette happen. Just kept stepping wide. Didn't really. Well, apologies about the lack of communication between here and you. We just had a few technical issues here, but we're back underway. We're all sorted here again now. Mary Beth Davis is in the arena with Imperio Magic. She's one of the last to go. 4 left, 3 after Mary Beth. 9-year-old 15-3 Warm Blood Imperio Magic from Mansfield, Georgia. And one of the youngest in the field. It's already into the half passes. And then into these pirouettes. So just 9 years old, this gelding. Again, one of those ones that's, I mean, you saw there the way that the legs really didn't match at all. Got very stuck, moved very wide behind, gone very stiff and stilted. And it's almost like goes into the pirouette and says, oh, I have no idea, do not know. By Cassandra, Balobu de Trop is the dam sire. Interestingly, saw that Ballot de Rouet went to number 1 in the sire standings again. This was 6th at Stable View in the 4-star short. This is their first 4-star long. Well, Mary Beth Davis, the Imperial Magic, just completing their test. Well, just about to enter the arena now. Third last to go, Lisa Marie Ferguson with Honour Me. Honour Me is a 17-year-old horse that's taken her to some amazing events. He's a thoroughbred Welsh Cob Cross from Westchester, representing Canada. And as she came down the centre line, I mean, he again is one of those that fills you with a little bit of confidence, isn't he? I mean, that Welsh Cob side to him hopefully will give him that sensibility in his brain, the rideability in the arena. Wouldn't be the biggest moving horse, but he's very workmanlike in what he does. So the transitions, the movements from one to the other seem seamless. The horse that she rode at the World Equestrian Games in Tryon back in 2018. And he's no spring chicken, but still at 17, he looks fabulous. Coat gleaming, real testament to her team. And the grooms really are the unsung heroes of the sport. Work tirelessly. Well, 17 years old and 38 FEI completions under his belt, or under his girth, with 47 FEI starts since his very first one. So one of the, if not the most experienced horses in the field. You can see the ground cover. It could be a little bit more uphill in the extended canter. Trends around the mid-30s at the 4-star level. Horse that started the 5-star at Maryland last year has completed Kentucky 5-star and has also completed Kentucky last year. Just getting a little bit tight behind. Inside hind, getting tight behind. Coming to this half circle. This is the time just to breathe and allow the horses to use their rib cage. Keep him down the rein. It's already tight, but it was a clean change. Tight but clean.
Completing their test now in ring C, number 127, Alexander O'Neill and Creative Genius. They complete their OI dressage test. We're back up and running in ring D. About to go up
And into their final halt. Pretty good halt. Gets a clap from the pavilion, where the riders' lounge is, the owners, all very well looked after to the left-hand side of your screen. Well, we've just got 2 left in the 4-star. And then following on from the 4-star, we will move to cross-country day, and that all kicks off at 8:45 in the morning with the 2-star, 3-star 10:30, 4-star 12:30, and the 1-star at 20 to 3 at 2:40. So make sure you're tuning in and joining us for all of the cross-country action here at the Terra Nova International Horse Trials tomorrow. And if you are fairly local, you would like to come, the sun is shining. We've got sky blue skies here today. Now the sun has burnt through the clouds, and we would love to see you. It'd be great if you could come along and experience the Terra Nova experience yourself. Well, 2 left to go, and it is the coloured fluorescent adolescents working their way around the arena. 3rd and final ride in the 4-star for Jessie Phoenix. She rode 3 in the 3-star as well, 3 in the 4-star. Horse that started off his career with Hannah Radkin for Canada, and then it was Maketa Rudzik, then Jess, who picked up the reins latter part of last year with this lovely coloured horse. Fluorescent Adolescent is by Gaudi, the Dam Sire Alibaba. And Fluorescent Adolescent, as far as I am aware, I think this is a mare. I'm pretty sure. No breeding. I've just had a quick look at the breeding, but no breeding from the source. But I'm pretty sure this is a mare. She's a lovely type. A little bit spooky in that top corner. They do have an arena familiarization, so the horses have an opportunity to walk around the arena. And unlike a lot of arenas at the top internationals, here at Terra Nova, and it's by no mistake either, that they have a arena buddy. They have an arena going on next door. So when you have an arena familiarization, you have lots of horses in the arena at the same time, but then come competition day, you go back into that arena and you're on your own. And some horses are looking round for their mates. Here, to her left there, you can just see in that back arena there's another horse, so they don't feel like they're completely on their own. They do feel like they've got a friend with them, and they're not completely isolated. Fluorescent Adolescent and Jessica Phoenix for Canada. 2nd last to go. This has been really nice work so far from this mare. Jessica, 2-time Olympian, rode in both London and Rio de Janeiro. And she's a World Games rider as well. ridden at 2 World Games in Normandy in kart in 2014 and Tryon in 2018. Nice pirouettes in both directions from left to right. Horses you may remember riding Pavarotti, and then A Little Romance is the latest of her top horses that she's ridden right the way to 5-star. Very exciting mare, this. "15-year-old piebald mare." She's gone a little bit fragile on her in the canter. You can see the mare's not really taken the bridle forward there. Sat a little bit on the back of the bit rather than taking the bit forward and bridle forward, carrying her. She's come back up and at Jessica. You can see that. And all she'll be hoping now on this half circle is that she takes the rein down. You can see her trying to just maneuver the neck a little bit softer, because that will make for the flying change to be tight, and that's exactly what she's got. We haven't got a flying change yet. Now we do, but it was way too late, and that was all as a result of what happened in the half pass, then into the circle. So let's hope this way's a little bit better. Like you and I, we're better one way than the other. Scientific facts is that it's got something to do with the way that these horses as foals lay in their mummies' tummies, but how much that is true, I don't know. But as we come through to the left half pass and the left half circle, the mare's still not let go completely with her head and neck. And again, this is going to be tight. Yes, it is. And that was a shame. But all of the canter work, even from the first extended canter down the long side, she never travelled into the bridle. She just sat on the back of the bit and didn't take that rein. This is something Jess will have to... There she's relaxed into it. And there's where we want her, really. But fussy in the mouth, even in the halt. But that's something she'll just have to go and weigh and work on now. And until you get in the arena, until you get into an atmosphere like this, you don't know what you've got. And if you haven't experienced it before, and they do like to throw things at us and in unique fashion at ungodly times, and why they have to wait until we're doing a test, I don't know. But that is the way it goes, and she'll just have to go and work on that now. But a lovely mare, some really nice work, and I think a mare that we're going to see a bit more of. One left to go. Jenny Carras. Trendy Fernhill will be the next to go. Do we have any more scores to bring you? The answer is yes, of course we do. A score for Tick Maynard and SKM Lux Sonata, 42.5. For Mary Bess Davis, a score for her in the 4-star goes into 5th. Equal, Imperio Magic. And a score for Lisa Marie Ferguson and Honour Me. Lisa Marie Ferguson, where is her score? There it is. Honour Me goes into 15th on 39.6.
Next to go in the open intermediate dressage ring C, number 120.
You can just hear Hugh Lahore on my left-hand side. It's like a Brit camp of commentators here at Terra Nova. Hugh commentating for the PA system here at Terra Nova. And we just have, as I said, that one last horse to go. Trendy Fernhill and Jenny Carras. There she is. Trendy Fernhill is a 12-year-old Irish sport horse owned by Lise Eisenberg from Chesapeake City in Maryland. Takes me back. I messaged Sinead Maynard last night. She said, "How's your hotel?" And I said, it's fine." She said, "Is it the Great Wolf Lodge?" I said, "No, that it is not." From where we stayed in Maryland. And of course, Chesapeake is where the Great Wolf Lodge is, the owner of Trendy Fernhill. But a little bit of a skip and a dance off of the centre line as they move into the shoulder in. Trendy Fernhill, a lovely horse, and the Fernhill prefix, of course, from Carol G, who's been building that very, very solid name of the Fernhill Irish Sport Horses for a number of years. Trendy Fernhill won their last event, and that was at Chat Hills in the 3-star. 12 years old. Horse that started and has been with Jenny for a number of seasons now. Or Trendy Fernhill by Ars Vivendi, cruising on the Dam's Sire side. Ars Vivendi goes all the way back to Accord, of course. Some amazing jumping, breeding in the Sire side, but the cruising line all the way back to Seacrest. You may remember, and again some fabulous jumping lines within that Irish side as well. So into the walk, Trendy Fernhill, Jenny Carras. This has been a nice test so far. Had a very good score. They broke the 30s into the mid 20s at Bucart Farm. Good in the extended. And sits for the collected canter before the half pass. That's a very good angle. You get a really good idea of the angle of the half pass from that camera angle. Not really. I don't think she really went far enough up. And that was a super flying change. Lovely. On the button, on the centre line. Very, very nice. So round to the other direction, and the half pass to the left. A little bit loaded onto the shoulder that way. And then the half circle. That was a better. I think she was a bit short in her straight line, and a little bit early in the flying change. To her final halt. Yeah, and very nice test. I mean, that was a very good performance, a lovely produced test. And it's not just about riding the dressage, it's about then the arena craft once you're in there. Riding those movements, being as clever as you can, don't throw anything to caution to the wind, as they say, but really thinking about where you're going to position your movements. Don't throw anything away. Let the judges give those marks away. Don't let them take the half mark away from you. And if it is an MXK extended trot, ride MXK. Don't ride 3/4 line to 3/4 line. I was talking to some of the judges yesterday, and I said, is it just me? Is that what I'm seeing, or is that not what's happening in the arena? And they said, no, quite right, it is. And at this level, at the 4-star level, you think that this is a qualification for 5-star, that you're wanting those riders to be riding accurate tests, riding exactly what it says in the directives, in the dressage sheet, that when they read it and actually look at what's required of that movement, they ride those tests accordingly. And there's so many things that go into one movement, whether it be a transition, whether it be the way that they come from one side of the arena to another, or in and out of those movements, and it's very costly, and it can be very costly. So we've got a score in now for Jessie Phoenix and Fluorescent Adolescent. And Fluorescent Adolescent will go into 17th place, 41.7. And we're just waiting for that last score for Jenny Carras and Trendy Fernhill. I think it'd be quite a good one. And whether it'll be enough to take the lead, I don't think it will. But the lead is held by Lucien Bellissimo and Tremanton on 31.5. Second is Will Coleman and Diabolo on 34.0. And Buck Davidson third with Errol Gobi on 34.9. They are the top three at the moment as we just wait for that final score. And it will be a little bit of a while. It's got to make its way from the main arena up to scorers. Scorers then have to add it all up, and then it will get inputted onto our computer. So there will be just a few moments. A reminder of what's going on tomorrow. Of course, the VIP experience. Join us tomorrow, Saturday, in the VIP pavilion or inside 2 satellite VIP lounges on the cross-country course. Tomorrow for the exciting cross-country phase, presented by Insurance Office of America. Enjoy catered lunch, non-alcoholic beverages, an exclusive VIP shuttle provided by Leibold Irrigation. You can visit terranovaequestrian.com to reserve your tickets, and also the mini horsemanship camp. Visit the paddock beside the tiny town this weekend for mini horsemanship camp, and sign up your child for hands-on fun with their mini herd. Activities include leading a miniature horse through the obstacle course, grooming and mane braiding, and horse-themed crafts. There are 3 one-hour sessions each day this weekend, beginning at 9 a.m., 10:30 and 1, open to children aged 5 to 12, and children must have a parent or guardian present at sign in and sign out, and wear closed-toed shoes. That is very important, to wear closed-toed shoes for health and safety reasons. So just that one score for Jenny Carras, Trendy Fernhill to come in. We have beautiful pictures of the Terra Nova Riders Lounge there, the VIP area, dressage arenas either side. Show jumping will be going on in there tomorrow. Why not come along and see the wonderful venue for yourselves? No stone is left unturned. It is just a magnificent venue, and we would love to see you here.
That test there in ring C, Jonathan Holling and Fernhill Copan. That's in the open intermediate. And then again in ring D, Nelson Moreira Silva's completed with FGF
Well, the score is coming in. First score in for Jenny Carras and Trendy Fernhill of 64. That has gone black, so that means that's confirmed. 2 scores we're waiting in for her at the moment. So just that final score is coming in for our last to go in the 4-star, Trendy Fernhill, and it is in. So finally the last score is in. Trendy Fernhill goes equal third on 34.9. So great score there for her. And there are the standings. It is Lucien Bellissimo for Great Britain that leads. Tremanton, 31.5. Will Coleman and Diabolo, second, 34.0. Buck Davidson, Errol Goby, Jenny Carras, Trendy Fernhill, tied for third on 34.9. Fifth, Jessica Phoenix and Freedom GS for Canada, 35.8. Equal sixth, Caroline Pamuchku, HSH Vamonos, and Mary Beth Davis, Imperio Magic. In 8th, Sarah Kozenplik, Rock Phantom. Equal with Jess Phoenix and Watson GS. And rounding out the top 10 for Australia, Emma Klugman and Bronte Beach on 37.1. They're the top 10 in the 4-star. As we turn the page, Alyssa Wallace there. Equal 12th is Jenny Carras, Summersby, Melissa Boutin, OB Dancer, Mia Braundell there, Matthew Brown, Lisa Marie Ferguson, Shannon Lilly, Jess Phoenix with Fluorescent Adolescent, Cutty Stark, Samantha Tinney, Tick Maynard and SKM Lux Sonata down in 20th place. And then that final page of dressage as we go to the final few. It is then Erin Strada, Live and Learn, along with Madeline Scott, Crosby's Gold, and Heather Gillette, Vincent Chase. They round out our top 23. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We are done with dressage in the 3 and the 4-star. Tomorrow, it is all about Captain Mark Phillips's cross-country course. Eric Bull is our wonderful course builder, and it is all live. We start 8:45. We'll be live just before then to open the program. 2-star starts the cross-country off at 8:45. 3-star at 10:30. 4-star 12:30 and the 1-star at 2:40 tomorrow afternoon. We are covering all of the cross-country action, and we hope to see you then. But for now, from myself, the whole team here at Terra Nova, it is great to have you on board, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
We have it.